years ago, when we visited Skiatook Reservoir near Tulsa, Oklahoma, the stage fill impoundment was new and small. Today, as 1987 Angler of the Year Denny Brower and Bassmasters Chuck Roberts fish it, the lake is some 11 foot higher, and for all practical purposes, an all-new and larger lake. But even though it's a different lake than these two anglers fished before, we'll see firsthand how the old patterns still work, proving, once again, that a bass is a bass regardless of where you might fish them. I'm Ray Scott. Stay tuned. The Bassmasters will be right back.
Skiatook Reservoir near Tulsa, Oklahoma. It's an impoundment we visited 2 years ago with professional bass angler Denny Brower and Chuck Roberts of the Bassmasters. The lake was smaller then because it was filling to one of its predetermined stage fill levels. There are basically two types of reservoirs, normal and stage fill impoundments. A normal impoundment starts filling when the gates are closed or the dam is completed, and continues filling till the water reaches a predetermined stage or spillway level. The water then stays at that elevation, with the exception of normal seasonal variation or heavy runoff. Of course, there can be great fluctuations in hydroelectric impoundments. On the other hand, a stage fill reservoir is actually several lakes in one. With a 3-year stage fill impoundment, for example, the lake fills to a predetermined elevation after the gates are closed. The impoundment is then kept at that elevation until, by plan, it's time to raise the water level again. The benefit of filling a lake by stages instead of all at once is fisheries management, or spreading the main productive years of a new lake over more than just the normal 3 to 5 year productivity period. The reason is, each time a lake is raised and covers new growth, it becomes a new lake from the standpoint of fish productivity. The newly covered growth provides a hiding place for small bait and game fish. And the more of the newly hatched game fish that survive the first year, the better the fishing will be in the years ahead. Fishing any new lake is confusing to many anglers because seldom will the fish be found where they're supposed to be.
There he is.
Bass tend to scatter in the newly flooded growth. Also, fish do not relate to drop-off structure to the extent they will in an older lake. Now, this is not to say that even in the early stages of a lake's development, the fish will not find at least a temporary home. Rising water like at Skiatook the last 2 years will change conditions. And that was predicted 2 years ago when Denny and Chuck fished here.
He's been doing his homework. You know, like where you caught that fish right there, there's no way you'll probably catch fish there next year because it'll be too deep this time of the year.
Be 10 foot of water over it.
What people got to realize, and the way we've been finding our fish, is just fishing along the edge of these creek channels, getting out in the middle of the coves and following the creek channels. Well, all they're going to have to do next year, when it's up another 10 foot, is go further back up that draw there, you know, and get to that same depth along the creek channel. It's really pretty easy to keep track of those fish, but they may be a half mile further back in next year.
If bass are patterned to be at 8 feet at 72 degrees along a creek channel in the fall, chances are they'll be at the same depth regardless of how much the water has risen.
There he is.
And creek channels are the most predictable areas to start looking. The type of cover is a dead giveaway in looking for bass along creeks. Hardwood trees usually line a creek. Cedar trees, which require less water, will often be found on higher ground or on humps. Willow trees usually mean there's a pond nearby. And often, the fishing is predictable.
I think they'll be on that tree. Right there. I think they'll be on that tree right there.
You said you think he's going to be where?
Sitting there pointing at where I thought they ought to be, and he almost took the rod out of my hand. Little fella, you're going to grow up and be tough.
You know, right where we're sitting, we're about 3 foot of water right here. This was 8 foot out of the water last time you were here.
Yeah, it would have been one of them.
8 feet.
Deer were probably feeding here then.
Well, a deer stand right down yonder.
It's fall here on Skiatook Lake. The water temperature is in the low 70s and a front has just moved in. The wind is north, cloud cover's coming in, and rain is forecast. And fronts will affect fishing one way or another.
What time of year were we here last time?
November.
There he is.
Good one?
Yeah, you good?
Going good.
Come here, baby. Come aboard.
How long do you think they're going to keep biting?
Oh, shoot. till this front gets real bad, probably. It's not that bad so far. It isn't that bad yet.
How much do you think these first fronts of the year affect the fish?
Oh, they affect them. There's no doubt about it. Anytime you get a drastic change in the water temperature dropping like this, it's going to affect it. You can make it negative, but shoot, you also have that water cooling down, which
Is a plus.
Is a plus, so it can halfway balance out. Fall fronts aren't near as bad as, say, fronts coming in when the fish are trying to spawn.
Yeah.
Those can just totally shut them down. Some of these smaller fronts can actually turn the fish on a little bit. These fish are biting pretty good.
Yeah.
Even though the wind's already switched to the north and the front is hit, I imagine the fishing's going to get tougher like we were talking about earlier as the day goes on. But we can't complain about some of the action we're getting.
No, and the quality's all right, too.
Fronts, changing conditions, in and out sun. But while feeding activity might and most often does lessen on a front, larger bass can be caught with the right presentation and lure. And day in and day out, that pattern is the jig and pig, fished in heavy cover.
There he is.
That's a good. Come on.
Try to get him out.
Come on.
Get him over that tree. Get him over the tree. Hang him up.
Oh, man, I'd have a heart attack if this is a tournament, Chuck. Hang on, baby.
You want me to get him?
Oh, no. Oh, no. Come on. Where are you at?
You gonna fall out and kill yourself
Yeah,
yet?
he's a good fish, too.
Oh, yeah. Whew.
What do you think of that?
5, isn't he?
Yeah, he'd go 5. 4.5, maybe.
Yeah, hung him up in the tree.
That a man does not need. Shoot, they're good, healthy fish.
And a big bite for the 1987 Bass
All
Angler
right.
of the Year.
Which one have you been looking for? All right, good fish. Good fish.
Come on aboard,
All right,
baby.
brother.
Whoa.
Huh?
Is that a good Chuck?
Better than 6.
Good fat fish. That old big bite got him.
Few of them still around, aren't there? Huh? Same kind of water we
You weren't
fished
lying to me, were
2
you?
years ago. Same kind of water, just moved up. Knew we were going to get one of them. I believe we'll catch a couple more like that today.
Perfect Bend had him hooked good, too. Boy, they're in good shape.
Oh,
and look,
yeah,
look
they're
at the
fat
size of that
fish.
belly on him.
Fat fish.
Feeding up on them shad, getting ready for winter. A good, good fish.
There's more to come, so stay tuned. The Bassmasters will be right back.